Hello and a warm welcome to Federal special program Capital Beat. West Bengal government has expanded its Vande Mataram mandate to madrasas across the state, making the singing of the national song compulsory during morning assemblies in all recognized institutions under the Minority Affairs and Madrasa Education Department. Now, the latest directive comes just a week after the state government made the recital of Vande Matram mandatory in all schools across West Bengal. Now, according to an order issued by the Directorate of Madrasa, I'll show you the copy. Barani, if you're there backstage, and if you can put the copy of this order put out by the Directorate of Madrasa, the national song, the letter or the circular rather, it says very clearly. And according to this order issued by the Directorate of Madrasa, the national song must now be sung in all recognized aided and unaided madrasas before the start of the classes. The order applies to institutions functioning under the state government's Minority Affairs and Madrasa Education Board. Now, this move marks another major education related decision by the government led by Suvendu Adhikari. Now, last week, the West Bengal government had directed all schools under the School Education Department to make the singing of all six stanzas of Vande Mataram compulsory during morning assemblies. Students were instructed to sing the national song before the commencement of daily classes. Announcing this decision earlier, Chief Minister Suvendu Adhikari had stated in a social media post, and I'm going to just read out that portion. He said, overriding the previous directive, the West Bengal government has made it mandatory with immediate effect for all schools under the Department of School Education to sing the Indian national song Vande Mataram during the school assembly or morning prayer before the commencement of the classes. Now, if you go to the social media, there are various comments coming from the Muslim groups, and they are saying that we are not against Vande Matram, but we don't worship the country, we worship the Allah. So let the madrasas remain independent. This is what the reservation is. But does it lead to a communalized education right now? Will the Muslims accept? Can this become a huge political a whip, with which the Muslims are going to be beaten now in West Bengal? All this needs to be discussed and deliberated. Joining me this evening is Shikha Mukherjee, senior journalist and political commentator. Thank you so much for joining. Shubhankar Bhattacharya, Trinamool Congress spokesperson. Thank you so much. Sameer Purkasa, senior journalist with the Federal. Thank you so much. And I'm also hoping to be joined by Ruma Chaudhary, who happens to be the member of the Madrasa Bengal Education Madrasa, and she had joined apparently, and she got disconnected. So we'll have to wait and watch if she gets connected. But let me begin with Shubhankar. Shubhankar, how do you see this move? Vande Matram now mandatory in madrasas. I can't hear you. You'll have to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Am I audible now?
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Well, it's a very welcome move. It's a very welcome move. I think by madrasas, every school should completely be involved in passing their entire day in singing the national anthem, then this national song, then comes the state song as well. Why do you want to leave the state song aside? We also have West Bengal state song. Shikhadi will be telling you Banglar Mati Banglar Jol, which was being actually the previous government. I think Mamta Banerjee, I was totally actually I wasn't in support of that as well, because I completely believe that once you are in school, your time has to go into absorbing as much of education as possible. But here I think the pseudo nationalists are again trying a second. This is the second wave of pseudo nationalism that is coming up in Bengal, and that is there to prevail for long. And this is not this is not where it stops. Actually, this is just the beginning, and a lot is going to come up. So again, because they don't have a vision for any education, we have just seen that how they have dealt with all the examinations across. They cannot handle one competitive exam. Even the CBSE exams are now in question. So they know that only thing that they can do over there is to involve the entire state into a political, pseudo-nationalist political drama. So this is going to be a new normal in Bengal. and this is just the beginning. So, and especially quoting, if they have any problem, I should say, then why should we leave Sare Jahan Se Acha behind? What is wrong with that song? Please include that song as well. And we have got 14 15 other songs as well, which can be actually be associated, and more nationalist flow can be over there. Why don't they actually involve it over in every madrasa, every school, everywhere? Why do we talk about we are targeting one particular segment, one particular community only? The problem over here is that they don't want to follow anything by themselves. If I do ask them that how many songs, how many national songs does the RSS now? RSS is also having a school program over in entire this thing. So soon last time we heard about Ramdev ji starting that board. I should not be talking about it because that is still in court. So the thing is, we are just trying to make issues in West Bengal, and the entire drama is being designed, let me tell you, just for one reason. They want the Bengal, not only Bengal, in fact, the entire nation, slowly, and it will begin from Bengal only. This Hindu Muslim, chaos is completely being designed, and this is a part of that blueprint, because sooner or later, when the development will be down, the inflation will be down, so they will be having one more thing to blame on. They will be blaming on to this that the entire nation is in turmoil. We are having so much of chaos. We are having so much of drama. That is why the development is facing, they are facing the downstream throw. So now this is the thing BJP is trying to bring in Bengal, and that Bengal is the starting point. Because I'm literally getting frustrated.
Do you see this, Shubhankar, also as an imposition, as a move to, send a message out to the Muslims that, look, you've got to do what we tell you?
Neeruji, let us not fall into that political gimmick, right? Number one,
Oh, but
why are
isn't
we
this a,
talking so
isn't
much
this
about?
isn't this a gimmick? Shubhankar, isn't this a gimmick which you should be talking about?
Yes, of course, in double inverted commas, yes, of course, double inverted commas, yes. This is a gimmick. This is a design of that blueprint which is going to be made, and it is. And let me tell you, this is it is a national plan. It is a national blueprint, because sooner or later they will be. They are trying to create a chaos just to blame
Okay.
each and every failure of there to deliver a good education system, an education policy, or even a vision to whatever they have said. They don't have vision for Bengal. They don't have vision for India, at least not in education. That is what we have seen till date.
All right.
And then
So
they
you
are
are
going to
seeing
blame
this,
all these things onto
right?
this thing only.
Right. So you see this as a move where it's bringing in chaos, and they are doing it deliberately. I was wanting to go to Ruma Chaudhary. She has again got disconnected. I'll come to Shikha now. Shikha, how do you read this move? And would the madrasas, have they expressed their reservation? I'm talking about the madrasa member, the board members in Bengal. Are they vocal about their reservation? Will they accept it?
Niluji, one more thing. Niluji,
Yes.
can I add just one more
Yes.
point?
Yes.
Neeraj, one more thing. The question is also about a choice. You have choice to show your own nationalism, right? If I sing Vande Matram, I am nationalist. If I sing Janagana Mana, I am nationalist. Why is it so that if I sing Sare Jaan Se Acha, I am not nationalist? Right,
All
right.
right.
There are so many
Yeah.
songs.
Got your
There are
point.
so many songs written. So
Got your
the
point.
thing is, why are we targeting the Muslims? If they have problem with one particular song, but the Janagana Mana is there, the national anthem is already there in place.
Yes.
That is
Yes.
being sung. So
Yes.
what problem do they have? Thank you.
Yeah, you're right. It's
Please
also about a
continue.
choice. Let me instead of Shikha, let me go to Ruma Chaudhary because she's getting disconnected. Ruma Chaudhary is a member of the Madrasa Education Board. Ruma, thank you so much for joining. Just unmute yourself. What do you have to say about this move by the government? Are the madrasas happy with this decision? Will they accept it, or are you going to protest this decision?
We are definitely going to protest this because Islam is all about worshipping one God, but making our students sing Vande Mataram is against the monotheistic, which goes against our students' belief. Article 30 of our constitution give us the right to cultural and religious identity. And I would like to add one more thing is that 99% students comes to our institutions from minority communities.
You're getting disconnect. Your audio is not
With
very clear, but
God,
I
you
did
know,
get the
when
point.
they come in burqas, they're standing in the heat, and we say when they are fainting, even in case, we tell them to unveil this, they disagree. So we are really worried what will happen after 1st June, because our Madrasa is resuming, you know. When we will tell them, so we have to, it is mandatory.
You're getting disconnected. Your audio is not very clear, Ruma. But yes, I could make out where you're saying that you will protest this decision. The madrasas will start their classes apparently from 1st June. I could gather that. But let me come to Shikha. Shikha, it's all about the right to choice, which Shubhankar pointed out. But it's about a religious identity versus a cultural nationalism. So, who dominates more? Is it cultural nationalism or will it be the religious identity? Both are right in their own in their own ways. But this has again become a huge debate. So, why do you think that Suvendu Adhikari was so quick to bring in this kind of an order?
Uh, Nilu, let's be very clear. This is an ideological nationalism. This is not cultural nationalism, because all of us have all of India has a diversity of cultures, which actually the constitution recognizes. And I don't mean only the constitutional right to freedom to practice their own religion. I mean the fact that we believe in pluralism, in diversity, in unity, in diversity, etc. So this is cultural. This is not cultural nationalism, I'm saying. This is ideological nationalism of a particular kind, that which is prescribed by a particular party, which happens to be now the ruling party in West Bengal and the ruling party in the center, and also happens to be the ruling party in a overwhelming majority of the Indian states, with a few exceptions. So, if you're looking at madrasa, if you're looking at why madrasas, because madrasas in this ideological nationalist landscape represent the fundamentalist face of a religion and a community that the BJP is ideologically allergic to. And let's not mince words about what they feel. But, and this is where West Bengal becomes extremely interesting. First and foremost, altogether there are about 600 odd state-run or state-aided madrasas in West Bengal. They are certainly, I don't know what is the proportion of state-aided, state-run madrasas to the non-state run or state-aided madrasas in West Bengal. But let me tell you that these state-aided madrasas are the ones that have the largest number of students, in the sense that these are students who are going through the higher secondary, state-run higher secondary exams. Some of them have been converted into English medium madrasas as well. So these are schools where not only do the Muslim community, children from the Muslim community go, but these are schools where a lot of Hindus and a lot of children from Hindu families go. So the problem will be that in state-aided or state-run madrasas, a directive from the madrasa board will have to be complied with. There's no other way out of it, because these are state-run or state-aided madrasas. It is in the other madrasas, that which the circular describes as recognized unaided madrasas, that the problem will arise. because the government ones are not going to have a choice in how they implement it. It is the recognized unaided madrasas and the non recognized madrasas which will face a problem. The non recognized ones actually cannot face a problem because they are in the private domain. They have nothing to do with. And the picture that you're showing is probably of one of those either recognized unaided madrasas or of a not recognized, not aided madrasa. So the recognized unaided madrasas are where the problem will actually arise. That is the legal question there. And I'm hearing, I don't know because I don't have the details, but I am hearing that representatives of these recognized but unaided madrasas are talking to the legal community in order to figure out how they can protect their right to not sing this song because it violates their religious perceptions. Now, is this a fight? Yes, this is a fight. Is this an ideological fight? Yes, it is an ideological fight. Does this have, is nationalism going to be challenged as a consequence of this? Yes, it is going to be challenged. My interpretation of nationalism versus yours. My interpretation of my freedom versus your interpretation of my freedom. That is what is at stake. It is freedom which is at stake,
Right.
not nationalism.
Right. Okay. So you're saying that it's freedom at stake, not nationalism. But Samir, how would you read this story? And do you think that this is going to have greater communal overtones in the days to come? Can it lead to some sort of clashes? Because ultimately, everything boils down to the religious identity. And with, like Ruma Chaudhary on the program, she said that no, we are not going to accept this. We will protest. So what happens from here on then? What can we expect?
See, the very intention is that there should be protests so that there can be much more polarization on religious line. But let me tell you one thing, that in West Bengal madrasas, and I'm quite sure it's same in case of other parts of the country, madrasas never objected to singing Vande Matram, the first two stanzas, and in various madrasas in West Bengal, contrary to the popular belief, the popular perception that BJP tries to push, that madrasas are averse to singing Vande Matram, it's not true. I have personally seen in many madrasas in West Bengal, students singing Vande Matram. That is before this entire 6 stanzas were made mandatory. So they had no problem in singing first 2 stanzas, and they had been singing it. But now suddenly the Madrasa Directorate of Madrasah Education has issued a fresh circular saying that singing of Vande Matram should be mandatory in madrasa, and this is part of the larger announcement that the state government made that in all government institutions singing of Vande Matram will be mandatory. So this is part of that. And why only madrasa? Even in many schools there are minority students. They forcing them to sing Vande Matram might this thing might confront with their rights to religion granted by the religious practice, right to religious practice granted by the Article 25 of the Constitution. So so there are lots of issues here, but the government, it's deliberately, when this thing was debated in the parliament, and from there on, it was very crystal clear that the intention is to further polarize the atmosphere, vitiate the communal harmony in this country. And after BJP came to the power in Bengal, it was expected that this kind of, there will be stricter implementation of this kind of law. You have seen that even the cow slaughter 1950 cow slaughter act has been now the new government of Suvendu Adhikari has reiterated strict imposition of this act. So the idea is to create some kind of social churning, so that that helps them to vilify minority community in a particular way, saying, oh look, they are not patriots, so they are not singing Vande Matram. It's a kind of a narrative they want to push. And it's
No, but I
and
was also seeing a lot of comments, Samir, on the social media that accept it or shut down the madrasas. That's how people are commenting.
No, I don't think from the other side also there should be such kind of very extreme reaction. They can always move to the court. The legal, they can seek legal recourse. If there has, because the very intention is that there should be adverse reaction. Now very interesting thing is happening parallelly, though this is not directly related to madrasa. If you see the cattle slaughter act, the age limits of 14, no cattle below the age of 14 can be slaughtered. So who is now opposing to this directive? It is mostly Hindu cattle farmers. The Muslims are saying we welcome this. We may, in this coming Qurban Eid, will not sacrifice cattle. We will sacrifice instead goats or sheep or some other animal, not cattle. But it is the Hindu farmers who is now facing facing the heat of this decision. So similarly, I think even instead of going for extreme protest or extreme going for some kind of extreme recourse, it will be more advisable if the Madrasa Forum and other Islamic religious organizations, if they have objection to it, they can go to the court and seek legal recourse, because the ecosystem, the Hindutva ecosystem wants this polarization, and if we react to it extremely, then we'll fall into that trap. So the better and I'm quite sure now the madrasas are in vacation, and once after the summer vacation they resume classes. I'm quite sure the Madrasa Forum, then this Muslim law, personal law board, and other this Muslim organization, civil organization, they will sit together and they will decide on
All right.
their
Right.
future course of action. But in the past, let me just made one line very clear. In the past, madrasas had no objection in singing Vande Matram. It's not that Muslims were averse to singing Vande Matram. It was not like that. And particularly in West Bengal madrasas, where there are also many Hindu teachers and Hindu students.
No, but if they were earlier not in agreement to singing Vande Matram, so what is the big issue now? Like what Ruma Chaudhary was saying, that I'll come to you. I'm coming for the concluding comments to Shikha and Shubhankar only. Yes, Amir, very quickly.
Yeah, see, earlier these two stanges, the problem is that, see, the present BJP government at the center, they had overruled the wisdom of Rabindranath Tagore, Mahatma Gandhi, Subhash Chandra Bose. They thought they are wiser than all of those great leaders, and decided that entire 6 stanzas of Vande Matram should be made mandatory. But earlier it was 2 stanzas only, and this decision was taken after thorough deliberation by great minds of India. But unfortunately, the present BJP government thinks they are wiser than everyone, so they came out with this decision, and that has made Vande Matram very controversial.
Right. All right. Now I'll take the concluding comments from Shikha and Shubhankar. Shubhankar, to you first, very briefly, and then I'll go to Shikha. Yes, Shubhankar, unmute yourself, please. Yeah.
See, Niluji, the thing is what Samirda said or what Shikhadi said. are all going in the same direction. The thing is that uh, the kind of democracy that today we are enjoying has a lot of conditions, applied to it. I become a Hindu follower only when I say Jai Shri Ram. I'm a staunch, I can make believe that I'm a Sanatan follower only if I say Jai Shri Ram, not Jai Ma Durga, Jai Ma Kali, or any other goddesses that we can follow. Second, we cannot deserve to have a fair poll. The fairness of poll is something that is dictated by the governing, the ruling party only. If they say that the election is fair, it's fair. You have to trust it. That's it. No choices, nothing. You cannot choose your commission. You cannot choose this. You cannot choose that. You cannot talk about the Supreme Court. You cannot talk about the judge. You cannot talk. Later on, blame the Chief Election Commission. You cannot talk about NTA. The NTA cannot deliver a proper education. All we can do for the pseudo nationalists to be happy about is that we can go on adding all the slogans and this and that to our education. Rest, the main part of education, how you are going to bring any change into the madrasa education, talk about it. Say that a part of the religious education, we are going to make mathematics much more mandatory, make the global education much more mandatory. Say all those things. Bring those in action. No. But what we have is that if somebody has a problem with something, let us go and pursue it at an extent so that the word in Hindi is daman. Daman. So the way of, the way we celebrate a triumph in last few days that we have understood, the triumph, how it was celebrated, it was celebrated by bringing down the shrines of the masjids over there. So it was celebrated. It is the victory of Hindu. That is what
Right.
they tried to say. It wasn't a victory of BJP.
Yeah.
They tried to
All
reflect
right.
it as a
We're running short of
victory
time.
of Sanatan,
Okay.
victory of
Shubhanshu,
Hinduism.
right. We're running short of time, and I have to go to Shikha, and also Ruma has joined. Ruma, can you hear me now clearly? And can you just unmute yourself? We couldn't get you completely. What I could hear from you was that you are going to protest. Now, what next? Because ultimately, now it's about you accepting the order. It's mandatory now, whether you like it or not. So, what's going to happen? You're going to protest. How will you protest? What could fall out? Yes, Ruma.
We are going to protest through your media, your this platform only. The most surprising and distressing part of these orders is replacing the national anthem. Okay, our students have grown up singing Janagana Mana with deep pride and respect, and it is the heartbeat of our national identity. So suddenly, this things is just changing, and the whole scenario, what will happen in the classroom, we are really very, very worried. The children are like small birds. It's really not the good time to plant the seeds of communalism in their mind. Our request to government is that please keep aside all these agendas, all these propagandas. Just let us focus on our students cultural development, their um, religious things. Try to conserve all these things. We should all respect our constitution. Article 29 and 30 has given us lots of things. Now our government has targeting specifically these institutions. It's really, our government is it's a baby right now, and what they are showing, it's really morning shows the days. What is going in coming 5 years, today they are imposing this national song instead of a national anthem. Tomorrow they will say all madrasa will be closed, no one can go to madrasas. So where we are, is this a fundamental right? My request to your platform is that we are really
No, but the
protesting. I
government
don't know
doesn't
what
listen
will
to you.
answer to.
No. Ruma, if the government doesn't listen to you, are you going? Are you preparing even to take the legal recourse?
See, might is right. Only 15%, 15 to 20% minority students in India or in West Bengal, you can say also the percentage is really very. I don't know what will happen. I think they are imposing everything on us. So one day it might be that we have to, or they will terminate us. It might happen. They will come. The inspection team will come to our school, and they will see the scenario, what really going on. See, there are lots of things by which we can develop the nation. I don't know why they are only they are fighting for cow, they are fighting for minorities. So all these agendas are really very distressing and disgusting also. We are really fed up with all this government. With
No,
15
but
days, 20
do you
days,
believe that this
we
is
don't know
some
how
sort
to
of
do
a
it.
Ruma? Do you believe that this is some sort of an imposition on the Muslims?
Of course, definitely, this is truly imposition. We really we do not accept this, and I don't know how we will try to convince our students. They are really very, very like birds. They come to school with big smile. They have a deep faith on monoaesthetic, the on Allah, Vande Mataram song. How they will react, we don't know. Even their family members, we might be, if we impose them and we say, no, you all have to sing this, the whole mohallas can come and attack us. That's the scenario, because most of the institutions are in the rural areas. They are really very much orthodox about their religion and their beliefs. So what's going to happen, Allah knows. If it is really mandatory, the first two stanzas may be sung, but with national anthem. National anthem cannot be, they cannot supersede
All
this
right.
thing.
All right. So
National
you are
anthem
saying
is the
that
heartbeat of the.
right. So you are saying that two stanzas with the national anthem is fine, but anything beyond that, what comes out in the order is not acceptable to the Madrasa Education Board. Now, Shikha, to you for the concluding comments, and then we'll wind up the show. Yes. You'll have to unmute, Shikha. You'll have to unmute.
Sorry,
Yeah.
am I muted? Am I
Yes,
still
yes.
muted?
Yeah. You're audible now. You're audible.
The point is that this is, as I said, this is an ideological attack on the freedom of these schools, and this has to be fought at two levels. One, it has to be fought within the law, because this is a court. This is a directive from a government, and therefore that has to be fought at the level of the law. On the second thing, it has to be fought politically, because the no madrasa, West Bengal Madrasa Education Forum, or any such entity as like that, is going to have the capacity to actually fight back. It is, see, look at the situation now. We have 293 elected representatives in the state government. For the first time in West Bengal in 90 years, there is no representation of or a share in power of a single Muslim in the government as a minister. We have today 40 Muslims in the state assembly, of whom not one is from the ruling party. So, what are these political parties going to do? Because the issue is not restricted, as Shomir very correctly pointed out, to the madrasas. The madrasas, there are different categories of madrasas, as I explained, and these things will have to be fought out at a different level, because what do state-aided madrasas do? What do state-recognized madrasas do? They will have to comply with the rule. But the parents and families and even the community may say that, look, this is impinging on our freedom to practice our religion in the way in which we understand it. Therefore, the fight has to be taken out of something as small as the Madrasa Education Forum or similar organizations, and has to be fought at a different level. Second, when we are talking about the imposition of Vande Mataram, now why are we saying it's an imposition? Samir was very correct. He said this is a systematic attack. It's part of a systematic attack. You look at how, I mean, come on, we have had in this city a near riot-like situation in the heart of the city over a meeting. There have been confrontations even before the BJP government took over about namaz which spills out onto the streets. There are orders now in place which say that the noise emanating from a place of religious worship must not spill outside the compound. Now, these are very, very targeted because no one is doing anything about these little roadside temples that we have, which are very noisy at times. No one's doing anything about it. If it's a case of, if one is cow slaughter, the other one is madrasa, the third one is namaz because it spills out onto the road, the fourth one is azan. But the legal reason, the government's reason, is that these are illegal encroachments that we are raising down. The point is, the place where I live has hundreds of little plots where this is government property, but it has quarters on it. No one is touching this part of the city, even though everyone knows, everyone in the current ruling dispensation knows, because the BJP president lives in this part of town. Other dignitaries of the BJP live in this town, or this part of town, and come and go. So they know that property is labeled, this is government property, has quarters on them. Why aren't you if your purpose is to free up government land, then please free it up. Don't distinguish between one lot and another lot. So we already knew we would be headed for this. The point is is West Bengal, let me put it differently, is West Bengal going to allow itself to be led by the nose, as have Muslims in UP, who have gone into legal exercises and have lost the political ground to fight this, because the political parties are so conscious about the Hindu vote, as it were.
Yeah,
Or is
that's a crucial question.
Or is West Bengal's political setup going to take a principled stand? That's the issue today.
Right.
And freedom is the issue today.
Right. No, but you raised a very valid point that will Bengal also accept to be led like this, just as what we are seeing in Uttar Pradesh? That's a very crucial question. But on that note, there's lots to even watch and just wait as to what's really going to happen and how do the people of Bengal brace up with this situation. We'll have to end it here. Thank you so much, Shikha Mukherjee, Shubhankar, Samir. Thank you so much for joining.